Hey YouTube, Rick Marks here. I want to go over 10 steps you need to do in order to transition towards digital minimalism. It's never easy, it's never straightforward, but I'm going to help you out with giving you the pointers that I've learnt from the book, The Digital Minimalism, and as well as my own journey in it myself. So the first step, I've talked about it many times, is to audit your current apps, assessing what you have installed on your device. This is even things like Outlook or email applications, every single application that you have on your phone. Even ones you rarely use, or ones you need to uninstall and disable the ones that don't serve a purpose or don't align with your goals or values. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have games, or, you know, if there's a particular, like for me, for instance, I have a word search one, and I find that's quite stimulating. I don't do more, like I just do the daily puzzle. And the other one is a blocks one, in terms of it's sort of like Minesweeper in a sense, similar to that. Monograms, I think it is, and I only do the daily one again there, and I do those both first in the morning. Helps me feel awake once I'm finished and get my brain firing. So they serve a purpose. There's pretty much no other application or no other game that I need to have on my phone because it doesn't serve a purpose for me. The second thing is to define your priorities. So determine what matters most to you in terms of productivity, leisure, and personal growth. Once you've clarified your priorities, curate your app selection to support these areas. For example, if health is a priority, keep apps for meditation, fitness, health, cooking, recipes, etc. Again, there's nothing wrong with having a million apps if you have a million purposes to have those apps. This is not about getting rid of or getting, going back to, Stone Ages. Again, it's also learning to then, which is step 3, set usage boundaries. So work out whether or not you need to put time limits. So I mentioned before, I put time limits on social apps. I put time limits on productivity stuff as well. Everything now is categorized and it's got a priority and a timer, and that timer is great because it accumulates over the whole day. So it reduces, and I feel like it's actually good because I brought down those limits. So at first I was maxing it and it was kept coming up and saying you've reached the time limit, you've reached the time limit, and you can override it. It is purely just an honesty kind of system. But now I don't even see the reminders. So I've really and I'm keep bringing down that cap each week to see if I can get closer and less time on my phone. So you use screen time and similar ones. I'm not sure with, I think it's Digital Wellbeing on Android, or you can use third-party apps like Freedom or Moment. But learn to stick with the boundaries. Again, when you're first starting out, it can be a bit clunky because you're going to reach your caps and you need to adjust it. Now, it's about progress, not about overnight, success. The fourth step is to practice mindful consumption. So before downloading a new app, ask yourself why you need that app and how much value it would add to your life. Avoid downloading apps impulsively or out of a habit, or again because somebody just says you need this app. Consider whether there are alternative ways to achieve that same outcome without relying on another app. Do you need an app to do that? I had a mate that looked at the fact that I use Adobe Premiere Pro, I think it's Premiere Pro, and he said, why don't you use, can't even think, InShot or one of those other kind of apps. And I don't want a subscription. So I bought the Premiere Pro, it's not a subscription. That's where I know my pitfall then becomes is I pay monthly subscriptions and I don't maximize my usage, and therefore then I'm actually just paying for something that I'm not actually gaining the benefit from. So think about why you need the app. And then the next step is to streamline your workflow. So identify redundant or overlapping apps that serve similar functions and consolidate them into one. For instead of having multiple note-taking apps, choose one that integrates well with the other tools and meets all your needs. So, and this is something I'm working on at the moment. So I have to-do list from Microsoft. I have structured another tasking type schedule. I'm trying to find the best of these, which integrates and works well with all my other elements, what works well with the family, with my wife's phone as well, and somewhere that some of these certain things like the schedules allow us to collaborate, because again, with kids, with multiple agendas happening, different people going different places, we need something that's got flexibility and growth potential. So sometimes you need to work out which one of the particular apps will best work for you, and that could take some trial and error. The sixth step is to create app-free zones or times. Find certain areas in your house maybe that, like the dining table, we do not have tech at the dining table, or even times in a day. So like once you go to bed, phones go off, where you can refrain from using any apps at all. So we generally try to have no phones at mealtime, because again, it's antisocial. We're all the family sitting having dinner. We don't need our phones. This is to also then help to create connection and to move away from the tech and recreate analog pathways. The seventh step is regularly review and reflect what you're doing. So schedule regular check-ins to evaluate your app usage habits and make the adjustments as needed. As I mentioned, I look at my time and I try to keep bringing it down to reduce the amount of time I spend on my phone. So it takes you to frequently check it and make sure that you're not just becoming slack and hitting the snooze sort of thing on the lockout. Reflect on how certain apps make you feel and whether they align with your values now and your goals. And be willing to let go of apps that no longer serve you. Like I've said before, I had TikTok. I got rid of TikTok because it didn't serve me. I lost more time and had more cons than pros. Step 8 is to experiment with digital detoxes. Periodically disconnect from all non-essential apps and digital services for a period such as a weekend or a week. Use this time to engage in offline activities, reconnect with nature, or spend quality time with loved ones. Notice how this break affects your mood, your focus, and your overall well-being. When you're no longer attached to your device and the apps and stuff, you will find that you again don't necessarily need to have those as much as you thought you did. So go camping or something where there is no phone reception and it forces you into that if you find it hard to just, I guess, turn it off on a weekend, for instance. Step number 9 is to seek support and accountability. Share your intentions with family, friends, and other people who can support you on your journey. Consider joining support groups with others that are digital minimalists or trying to go down that road, so you can support and help one another and create ideas. And the last step is the best in terms of all I guess addiction kicking, is to celebrate your progress. Acknowledge and celebrate your milestones. Like I say, I look at the fact that I don't see the lockout reminder anymore that my app time limit is up. That to me is great. It's a good feeling because it means that I'm achieving the goals that I have set for myself. Whether it's again successfully sticking to your app limits or discovering new ways to use the technology. Whether you have found an app you no longer need, celebrate the fact you've reduced your apps down from whatever to down to whatever. I hope those tips help you. If they have, thumbs up below, comment if you're keen. There'll be another video tomorrow morning. You have an awesome day and you'll see me in the next video. Bye for now.